Let's do this.
Welcome back to another episode of About Shadows and Sunshine. I am Vanessa, your host, and this episode is gotta be very special because, guys, it's Christmas. I'm so happy to welcome all of you, and we're gonna spend some wonderful time together today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And leave a comment if you feel like doing that. In this episode, I want to talk about my experiences with Christmas or the winter time itself. I want to dedicate this episode to all of the people who are spending Christmas alone and to the people who feel alone on Christmas, even if they are surrounded by people. Because that was the feeling I carried throughout the years inside of my chest. When I was pretending to be someone I wasn't around family that I just saw like 3 times a year. And I believe it's hard to really show yourself, to show them who you really are, because that's the challenge. And to be somebody they want to see is sometimes easier than really showing them who you want to be, because you don't want them to say something to you. You don't want them to criticize you. And I believe some days it's easier to not show them who you are, to protect yourself. But in the end, you have to decide who you want to be, if you care, if you don't. If the opinion of those people matters to you more than the opinion of life and what you think about yourself. Because if you really want to be your true self, you shouldn't be caring about those people who never really were part of your life. Because these people, they judge you and everything, but they have an old perspective probably about life itself. A perspective that has already changed. Because if we probably consider that you, I don't know, if you have probably something they don't like, maybe you have tattoos or you have colored hair, whatever it is, or you didn't make the achievements they would want to see that you should have done yet, that you should have made yet. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to fulfill everything that somebody else expects you to do. You just have to be a version of yourself that you can look into the mirror and be proud of. A version of yourself that you smile at when you see them. Because it makes you happy to see yourself like this. And we are all on the way to come to this version of ourselves. So let's create this journey more beautiful, and let's be together on this journey. We can do it. We will come back to ourselves, and we will be the version of ourselves that we are meant to be.
A lot of people think I'm confident, but I'm actually just loud.
But let us dive into what I wanted to do. Now I have spent the time to give you all advice again. I'm sorry for that. But I wanted to read you guys a lot of poems and maybe some books, I don't know. But yeah, let's just relax, spend some time. You can grab a cup of tea or any hot drink you like. Get cozy and yeah, just relax for maybe the next hour. The first poem I was wanting to read is called Dust of Snow. It's written by Robert Frost. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Kinda like this one. I really believe that those are just, I don't know, poems. I don't own these poems, you all know that. And I love poems so much. My book that I will hopefully finish next year is also a collection of poems, if I'm talking about it now. But it's not in English, so yeah, not really something you guys should know. But maybe I will read you guys some poems of my own later. Another one is Christmas Night by Betty Jones. In the dark of winter's drear comes the night of Christmas cheer to the heart and mind and soul. For the Christmas light, you know, shone first a star in Bethlehem. Star streams to shepherds and free wise men over the manger where the Christ child lay. His life we celebrate Christmas Day. I also like this one. I also have some poems that aren't winter or Christmas related. One of them, I don't know about who it's written, but it's called She Chose to Heal.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
She chose to heal instead of hate. She trusted time, she trusted fate. Her heart once broken, her voice once dim, now sings with courage deep within. She chose to heal, she learned to grow. She faced the pain she used to know. Each wound she bore became her guide. Her strength no longer had to hide. She chose to heal, her soul is free. She found the truth of who to be. No weight could break, no night conceal, for she is proof that hearts can heal. I kinda love this one. Then another winter poem. I kinda love this one. It's called Winter Eyes. Look at the winter with winter eyes, as smoke curls from rooftops to clear cobalt skies. Breathe in winter, past winter knows, the sweet scent of black birch, where velvet moss grows. Walk through winter, with winter feet on crackling ice or glossy wet sleet. Look at winter, with winter eyes, the rustling of oak leaves as spring slowly nears. I think you can kind of feel how they are making like I believe you can feel how winter is becoming spring already in this poem. And I really am like a fan of romantic poems because they are always so close to nature and everything, and also using the seasons a lot, I believe. Let me see, do I have another one? I also have one that isn't Christmas related. It's called The Mask We Wear. Every day we put on masks, some to protect ourselves, some to hide our pain, and some to show the world what it expects to see. Behind the smiles may lie silent battles, behind the strength unspoken fears, And behind the calm, a storm waiting to be heard. We wear masks, not because we are false, but because the world is not always ready to see us in our truest form. Yet the soul longs for spaces where masks are not needed, where hearts can be bare, and where truth can finally breathe. I really think that this one is kind of beautiful. And there's also a poem called Wind, Fire and Rain by Jimmy Osborne. I've seen pleasure, I've seen pain. I am the wind, the fire and the rain. I am the quiet shower upon the bay, with the power of a hurricane. I've been burdened, I've been weathered. I've learned to fly in any weather. And through I've seen my better days. Every day is getting better, in the quietest hour of the day. When most the world is tucked away, you may find me wide awake, lying silent beside the lake. I found faith, I found peace. I am the sun, the wind and the sea. I am the words upon this page, just waiting for the world to see. There's also another one by him called The Seasons of Life. In the darkest winter of my life, when all that I could see was strife, I faithfully followed a vibrant light that stayed me through the starless night. My heart did spring from that icy chill. When I think of it, I can feel it still. I have only just begun to heal. I've only just begun to feel the soothing breeze on summer waves, when every day is a sunny day. It's funny, I can finally say, it feels good to be alive today. Through every now and then I fall. I'm losing leaves, but through it all, through the darkest winters of my life, I've never lost that vibrant light. This one is actually one of my favorites because it really gets to my heart. Like, this is something I believed along that I've lost this light, but actually that light was always inside of my heart, even though my body was in the dark or my thoughts or whatever. I still had that light. It was always with me. And so I think it really is true. Some of you might know this one. It's called The People Who Feel Too Much. There are people in this world who feel too much. They get teary-eyed at sunsets, smile at strangers on lonely benches, and fall in love with moments most people overlook. They are the ones who cry at the end of a book, who still remember what you said months ago, who tuck little notes in lunch boxes and feel guilty for things that were never their fault. These are the people whose hearts you must never break, because they don't just give you love, they give you pieces of themselves. In silence, in softness, in stillness, you will find them standing alone in a crowd, not because they are lonely, but because they notice everything. And most things hurt when you feel this deeply, but oh, how they light up when they are understood, how they bloom when they are held gently, seen without being loud, loved without being perfect, and heard without having to serum. And then I have another one called My November Guest by Robert Frost again. My sorrow when she's here with me thinks these dark days of autumn rain are beautiful as days can be. She loves to bear with her tree. She walks the sudden pasture lane. Her pleasure will not let me stay. She talks and I am fain to list. She's glad the birds are gone away. She's glad her simple worsted gray is silver now with clinging mist. The desolate, deserted trees, the faded earth, the heavy sky, the beauties she so truly sees. She thinks I have no eye for these, and vexes me for seasons why. Not yesterday I learned to know the love of bare November days before the coming of the snow. But it were vain to tell her so, and they are better for her praise. And then I also have 2 poems of listeners. One is by my friend Anu, or I don't know if she wanted to be called Chaiko or Chaiko, whatever. I don't know. It was a bit confusing, so let us just say Anu to her. And this is her poem. My messages got dry, but yours got drier. My response got less, but yours got lesser. I started to reply late, but you started to leave me unseen. What's this face called, afraid to recall? Do I again lose a friend? The pain that never ends, our bond immense. Is this the reason it's life? Lots of highs and buys, but still hollow inside. A little effort won't hurt. Is an eye contact too much? But we leave here and part ways. I guess pain always finds a way. Thank you a lot for this. I really think that writing poetry can really help to, I don't know, process your emotions in some ways. So I really like it. Because when you feel overwhelmed or when you feel hurt, you can always just grab your pen and write something. And then I have another one from a listener. I would call her Diva. Winter, cozy vibes are back it. Didn't last long for me to miss you back. Early mornings and hot teas are my cup of teas. Cool air cuts through your skin, warm blankets give you chills. This one is actually pretty cute, I believe. And I also have another poem. Yeah, this one is called Little Tree by E. Cummings, or Cummings. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah. Little tree, little silent Christmas tree. You are so little, you are more like a flower. Who found you in the green forest, and were you very sorry to come away? See, I will comfort you, because you smell so sweetly. I will kiss your cool bark, and hug you safe and tight, just as your mother would, only don't be afraid. Look at the spangles that sleep all the year in the dark box, dreaming of being taken out and allowed to shine. The balls, the chains, red and gold, the fluffy threads. Put up your little arms, and I'll give them all to you to hold. Every finger shall have its ring, and there won't be a single place dark or unhappy. Then when you're quiet dressed, you will stand in the window for everyone to see, and how they will stare. Oh, but you will be very proud. And my little sister and I will take hands. And looking up at our beautiful tree, we will dance and sing Noel, Noel. This one is really beautiful. But I think it's also more related to love and Christmas. Yeah. Another one is called Snowflakes. And the Forest and the Fog and the Forest by Jennifer. It is one of a longer poem, so don't worry when I am just reading. It's more of a longer poem with like 3 chapters, so yeah. Don't worry when I'm just reading the chapter names. Yesterday they were denticulate as dandelion. Greens they looked together in spokes and fell so weightlessly. I thought of best friends holding hands, and then of mating hawks that soar into the air to link their claws and somersault down, separating just before they touch the ground. Sometimes the snowflakes glitter, it's more like tinkling than snow. It never strikes, and I want to be struck, that is. I want to know what to do. I begin. Enthusiastically, I go in a hurry. I fall, pell-mell, down a hill like a ball of yarns, unraveling trajectory, down and away, but also surprising ricochets that only have to seem foretold. Yesterday, I took a walk because I wanted to be struck, and what happened was an accident. A downy clump floated precisely in my eye. The lashes clutched it close, melting it against the eye-hurt surface, and like the woman talking to herself in an empty church, who eventually realizes she is praying, I walked home with eyes that melted snow. The fog. Outside, a gorgeous morning fog, I stare at while inside coffee spreads its alerting warmth and my mind starts to soar. That sensation I have loved ever since as a child. I learned to read without moving my lips, just in my mind. How stalling it was, like a radio or river only I could hear. Never back then did I wonder how to turn it off. Now it's how I can talk directly to you, oh fog. How I used to watch you rolling on those spring mornings in Cassis. How you could make the entire mountain outside my window disappear. And the whole world is so visibly into a chamber of such beautiful doubt that I would appall. When something is substantial, as a bird would, swoop out and land on the terrace. Clarity, I suppose, only comes when you leave, but I love what soft, featureless comfort you are. And when you speak back, like the steam I have watched in moments of perfectly useless concentration, emerge from the electric kettle on its way to climax a swirling atomic dust, particles mumbling up out of the spout, and then a thickening grainy as ash, and the force increasing and rising high like the flame from an untrimmed wick, and then the curling plums of voluptuous traces of steam, 30 seconds of such sensual escape, a domestic iteration of what Jupiter said to Io, I think in the Correggio, where he comes to her as a cloud, and the soles of her feet glowy rosy, as skin flushed after a hot bath. I think I could stand a long time and watch the fall calling its visual whisper, while I eat an orange, its rind sewed soft under my fingernails. The smell, it fills the room with the opposite of fog. In the forest. During the day I have watched them stand around and chew the yellow grass, the long suffering cows. Sometimes steam comes from their nostrils. I have also visited them at night, seen entire herds standing in the rain, as unreacting as the trees behind them, when the jitter of flashlight warned of my approach. Those were the cows in the field by the forest, and those were the days when going outside felt like going inside. There was the sound of a woodpecker peeking, and there was a kind of knocking. and the sound of the pine trees creaking, and that was a kind of a door. And so you could enter the forest, and all through each moment you trespassed further, became more tense. It only lasted until you could no longer see the road. Then you would be inside on a kind of unending staircase of roots worn silver-like. After reading those poems, I wanted to read you guys a part of a book. You all might know this book. I recently just bought it last year in English because, I don't know, I'm just really into English literature, so it's called The Never-Ending Story by Michael Ende. And I would just jump right into the story because of the copyright, you all know. So I just will probably read some pages, not the whole book. I don't know, I just feel like this book has something old and I don't know, even something Christmas vibey probably. I don't know. Because of their special importance, deliberations concerning the welfare of all Fantastica were held in the great throne room of the palace, which was situated only a few floors below the Magnolia Pavilion. The large circular room was filled with muffled voices. The 499 best doctors and Fantastica had assembled there and were whispering or mumbling with one another in groups of varying sizes. Each one had examined the childlike empress, some more recently than others, and each had tried to help her with her skill, but none had succeeded, and none knew the nature of cause of her illness, and none could think of a cure for it. Just then, the 500th doctor, the most famous in all Fantastica, whose knowledge was said to embrace every 16 medical herb, every magic, philtry, and secret of nature, was examining the patient. He had been with her for several hours, and all his assembled colleagues were eagerly awaiting the result of his examination. Of course, this assembly was nothing like a human medical congress. To be sure, a good many of the inhabitants of Fantastica were more or less human in appearance, but at least as many resembled animals, or were even farther from human. The doctors inside the hall were just as varied as the crowd of messengers miling about outside. They were dwarfs. They were dwarf doctors with white beards and humps. They were fairy doctoresses in shimmering silvery blue robes and with glittering stars in their hair. They were water sprites with big round bellies and webbed hands and feet. They were white snakes who had coiled up in the long table at the center of the room. They were witches, vampires, and ghosts, none of whom are generally reputed to be especially benevolent or conductive to good health. If you are to understand why these last were present, there is one thing you have to know. The childlike empress, as her title indicates, was looked upon as the ruler over all the innumerable provinces of the Fantastican Empire. But in reality she was far more than a ruler. She was something entirely different. She didn't rule. She had never used force or made use of her power. She never issued commands and she never judged anyone. She never interfered with anyone and never had to defend herself against any assailant. For no one would have thought of rebelling against her or of harming her in any way.